Welcome to Running is Bullshit. I'm Amy.
And I'm Stuart, and you're listening to the podcast that loves to hate running. This is episode 140, and we're still talking about run club names, why mountain biking is bullshit, stupid places people run, more Strava mule nonsense, and some very bizarre otter-related journalism. First of all, just a quickie to say we saw a local race asking for advertisement for their race brochure, and we thought, that's a nice idea. Perhaps we should try and support some local races in that way. And a race brochure, that's quite fancy, isn't it? So we inquired with them, sent them a little email saying, what kind of options do you have? And they turned us down because the brochure would go out to children as young as 7. And apparently we are not appropriate for that.
Oh, is it because our advert was like, listen to our fucking podcast, you fucking fucks?
Yeah, that was kind of the draft I was going with. I sent them like a little sample of what we were thinking of. But yeah, apparently they didn't want our money. Not good enough for them.
Ugh. Why? What 7-year-old is reading a race brochure?
They're not reading the race brochures,
No.
come on. And they're not listening to podcasts. But, we tried. We tried to give back, and we will no longer do that. We will just continue to take.
Yes. Yeah. We give it a good run. So, catch up from last episode. Caroline, the average athlete, said, you missed the most important piece of information. This is about the multifunctional neck tubes. Can the neck tube be used to carry a gun? Question mark, laughy emoji. I think this is referring to, was it last time we were talking about Facebook groups?
Yeah, you love talking about running holsters, I know.
I know, running holsters. I mean, yeah, probably could carry a gun in the multifunctional neck tube.
Please, carry it in any other neck tube you want. Please don't carry one in ours. We do not want to be implicated or in any way involved in your criminal activities.
When the FBI look back at it and they're like, oh yeah, they were really influenced by this podcast.
Yeah, please don't do that. No. By the way, if you do want to carry any weapons around, these neck tubes are still available. Still got a bunch of them available. If you want me to go and annoy the woman at the post office who counted out every single one separately last time, please let us know. Just email runningisbull@gmail.com. Send us an email there. And they're only £9, which is a bargain, frankly. And get yourself a lovely branded neck tube. I have found some more run club names because it's the thing I'm into. I was just scrolling through a list on Run Britain, found a way to download it. So I've got now a list of 3,600 run club names, which I very much enjoy scrolling through and having a look through. I went through the list. I just picked out some at random that I liked. There are clubs. Now, some of these clubs may well be defunct or kind of very, very old. No idea. Some of my favourites were the Cosmic Hill Bashers.
Oh, I love that.
Sphinx AC, which is strange. Epsom Oddballs RC. Oh, Oddballs I don't really like. The Bearcat Running Club.
Oh, I like that one.
Couldn't decide between bear and a cat. Went with both.
Bearcat.
The Train Station Runners.
Ugh.
Don't say which one. Train station is one word. They were like, what's the most distinctive feature? Well, we meet at the train station, so we'll be the Train Station Runners. Very, very lazy. Speaking of lazy, also Fat Boys AC, which I think is a lovely touch of Fat Boys with AC for Athletics Club. Which usually kind of denotes that they're going to be half decent at least, but good old Fat Boys AC.
I love that. I love Cosmic Hill Bashers. That's amazing.
That's very
fantastic.
Strange.
And Bearcat Running Club. I like that. I like Bearcat.
No idea what's going on with these.
Yeah, Bearcat Running Club. Yeah, that's a very good one. Lizzie Rand said, my uncle ran for the South Molton Strugglers. I struggled to keep up. My club is the Whitchurch Whippets. More than once, I've been asked questions about rescue dogs and dog care. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, the thing about these descriptive names, and I guess that's why you see a lot of like slow, plodders, whatever, is because I wouldn't want to be in a club that's got whippets in the name because I ain't a whippet. That would make me feel like a lot of pressure.
But it'd be nice every now and then someone will come up and give you like £100 to be like, we're going to give you some money and some towels. Keep out running. People just start bringing you blankets.
Runners could still use those.
That'd be nice.
But I think if I had to join a club that was either strugglers or whippets, I feel like the strugglers, I want to be a big fish in a small pond, I want the baseline of the club to be everyone struggling and everyone slow. So if I do get better, then that will be the motivation to get better. Everyone's like, oh gosh, you're not struggling, you're brilliant. But if I was a whippet, no, it's too much to live up to.
But of course, in the struggle, you can be like, well, we all struggle at our own level, don't we? It's all the same. You're like, but I'm fucking better, so that's the main thing.
You'll struggle to keep up with me, bitch. So that's not what I'll be saying whatsoever.
You've never said that.
No.
Kat Curran said, it's not that weird, but my local club near the airport is called Big in Runways, which makes me smile. That's quite good.
Aww. Yeah, I like that.
Runways works very nicely.
Love it. Victoria Magna said, my favourite so far is Sowerby Bridge Snails. I hope I'm saying that right, Sowerby. Sowerby Bridge Snails. I love that, Bridge Snails.
Bridge snail sounds like a type of snail that just lives under bridges, though.
It sounds very whimsical. I imagine like an old English garden with a snail on a little bridge over a pond.
Oh, that's lovely. Andy Nichols said, it's difficult to beat the orienteering club name for Coventry and Warwickshire called Octavian Drubers. Matt Garner replied saying, wasn't Octavian Drubers a disgraced Imperial commissar from the 40k universe? Now, I don't know what that means.
I think it's Warhammer. It's Warhammer.
Yeah, that's as much as I know. And I know nothing about it. But a disgraced Imperial commissar, Octavian Drubers, yeah, I don't understand it, but it sounds right.
Yeah, mate. Like, from what I understand about Warhammer, it's a whole thing. It's like a whole world, you know? Like,
let's not get into that.
It's so complex, but...
There's a lot. I've had a quick look at this one. I think Octavian is something to do with like a public school, so it's kind of weird. And Druber, apparently Drube was like a guy's nickname in the 60s at this public school. So I don't know, it's weirdly named after himself somehow, but it's a very strange name.
Weird vibes.
And looking through this big list as well, I did come up with some numbers based on what I was talking about last time. So out of these, about 3,600 clubs, there are 49 with joggers in the title. And a couple of them are like Start to Jog or Jogging Made Easy, which are like, that's fine. You know, that's a good thing to have as a beginning group. But they're affiliated clubs. Like people are paying to like UK Athletics to join a club called Jogging Made Easy. And that seems a little strange to me. Usually I think you'd do your Jogging Made Easy, then you'd move on to someone else. But no, they've decided to go affiliated. There are 4 plodders.
Only 4.
Only 4 plodders.
I'm really surprised there's only 4.
Yeah, mostly alliterative. Pershaw Plum plodders, Polegate plodders, Prudhoe plodders, and Ultimate plodders.
Oh, the one to rule them. That's probably where the rest of the plodders have gone. Ultimate plodders have taken them out.
It's like, sorry, yeah, we are ultimate an ultimate plodder.
Get
Amazing.
off our patch. We plod here, not you.
There are 11 groups of trotters, and there are also some globe trotters and some bog trotters, of course, thrown in there. 5 groups of shufflers and 2 of stragglers as well.
Oh, you know what? When I read that, I thought it said stranglers, and I was like, that's not good. That's not good. Like,
it's a Victorian East London-based club.
Stragglers. Oh, I like that. But I'm surprised. I thought there'd be more shufflers.
Yeah, I thought so as well, actually.
Alliteration, lots of S names, you know?
I just kind of assume because I've seen them, there must be quite a few around, because obviously I've not seen 3,600 clubs, but I do pay attention to club names and club vests when I see them. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. It was relatively few of all of those. Someone on Facebook, well, actually it was Horsepath Park Run, which I'm guessing is someone using the wrong account on Facebook to comment, and they said, a shame that Abingdon Amblers changed their name recently to Abingdon AC. Boring. Yeah. To go from Amblers to Athletics Club is quite a bold statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is maybe just everyone just got faster and faster, and it's like we can't be Amblers anymore.
We are now extremely athletic.
I want more whimsical club names, because the thing is, what did we have? What was that one last week that I loved?
Hogweed Trotters.
That is amazing. We need more whimsical ones, because the thing is about all this, like, so-and-so AC and blah, 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 or even like the plodders, the shufflers, the stragglers, all of that. It's just kind of dull. Like, let's have the whimsical. Let's have the bridge snails. You know, I love it.
Bit of variation is good. I've just checked my spreadsheet here. There is only one group of amblers left now. Team Anstey, amblers and runners. So they accept both. You can graduate to become a runner if you're just an ambler. Or perhaps if you're a shit runner, like, you're in the amblers group now.
Are there any dilly-dalliers? That's what I want to know.
I'm going to say probably not. No, there are not.
Hogweed dilly-dalliers. I'd love that. That would be my club. Hogweed dilly-dalliers. So whimsical. We need more whimsy in running.
Oh, and some of the ones I mentioned last time as well. There is the Colic Huffers and Puffers, as well as the Woodthorpe Huffers and Puffers, the Pireford Puffers, and the Feltham Puffers RC. So there's a few puffers going on as well. I love this list. It's very arsey they are. But yeah, I love this list. It's a very good thing that I've made.
Very good.
Keep sending in funny run club names that you spot. I do like to hear. I'd be nice. I think I'm being nice about run clubs. You know, I like them, but I just like the names because sometimes they're funny. Let's have a tea update. Ooh. And we're partnered with Bird and Blend Tea, and that means we'll tell you what tea we're drinking. If you like the sound of it, you can go to runningisbs.com/tea, click on those links, and then buy that tea if you want. We're very excited this week because we are now officially in cozy season. We have ordered ourselves, we've banged on before about Bonfire Toffee Tea. It's kind of a smoky, kind of appley sweet black tea. Now they do Bonfire Toffee Sticky Chai. So we've banged on about Sticky Chai, we've banged on about Bonfire Toffee, we've brought them together. I've just finished mine while Amy was yapping about something. It's very, very good.
It is very good. I thought at first, so when I opened it and I smelled it, it's like, oh, that's just so good. And it smells a lot stronger than the normal Bonfire Toffee tea. And at first I was drinking it, I was like, it tastes a bit stronger, but I don't know, is it worth paying, because they are more expensive than Sticky Chai, is it worth paying more for this rather than just the normal Bonfire Toffee? But now I'm like halfway through the cup. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a lot stronger, the taste, in a really nice way. I really like this one.
Yeah, it's got all your spices in there. It's got like a bit of black pepper extra in there, some chili flakes and cacao nibs, all that kind of thing. So there's loads more going on. Absolutely amazing tea. Head to our website and grab some of that. Also, a little change to our discount code. Our discount code is Tea is not BS. But what you need to do now, you need to go to when you're ordering on the website, go to the chocolate digestive tea, add a 20-gram pouch to your basket, and then add the code, and it'll take that off. I think before you put the code in, and it will just add it in for you.
Yes.
Now you need to add it to your basket. So do that first. Tea is not BS as the discount code, and you'll get that free. And that is also one of our favourite teas.
Definitely. What a faff, though. Come on, sort it out, Bird and Blend. You got to work for your free tea. You got to add it to the basket.
It's free. Come on. You can do 9 seconds work for some free tea.
I guess so.
What have you been up to, Amy? Have you done more than less than 9 seconds work this week?
More. I was supposed to tail walk the Rhythm. Didn't do that. Had like a horrific PMDD episode flare up. Like the day before, I was feeling horrific, like shit, like mentally and physically. That's the best thing. That's the best thing with PMDD, when it's mental and physical at the same time.
Oh, you want both in there?
Oh, love that, because often it's nice and you just get one or the other. Horrific still, like horrific, like mental health episode, or horrific, like physical pain, just everything. But no, it was both this time, so that was nice. And like the day before, I was like, oh god, I hate cancelling things, and I was the only tail walker for the first bit, and it was the first 15 miles, and I'd already had a text from the organisers like the week before saying, oh, can you still do this? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, because I wasn't expecting to be at that point. So and I was like, the day before, I was like, oh god, do I just wait and see? Because I could wake up tomorrow morning and be absolutely fine, So I was like, do I wait and see? And then I was like stressing about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to cancel, because I don't want to cancel on the morning of. If I wake up and feel like this, I am not going to be able to do 15 miles. There's no way. In some ways, I think it might be even unsafe. I felt like I was going to faint. I felt like I was going to faint and shit myself and vomit all at the same time. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to cancel so they have enough time to like arrange somebody new. And it was a good job I did, because I was up all night, really unwell. Like most of the next morning, because I would have had to get up at like 4 a.m. to get over there and stuff. So like I slept in the next morning, still managed like a little bit of a run, like an hour out, the next morning, but just really slowly, really took it easy. But yeah, didn't tail walk, did my flaky thing of like.
Well, I think only like a dozen or so people got lost and weren't accounted for at the end of the day, which is not too bad in a race of that size.
Yeah, and all the signs were left everywhere, and the farmers went nuts. But it doesn't matter. No, I think they got somebody else to do it, which is good. Which is why I'm glad that I cancelled early, because, like I said, I would have had to cancel the morning of because I just felt absolutely horrific. So it was, I cancelled in time. They managed to get somebody else, which was good.
Would it have been worse if you'd have cancelled, woke up the next morning and felt great?
Yes. Yeah, I said that
annoying.
to Freya. I woke, like I said, I was up most of the night, and then the next morning, and I said, thank God I feel shit. Thank God, because I would have felt so guilty if I felt...
It's good to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, thank God I feel like absolute death. Yeah. So there's that. And then the next day, I went out and did my long run, and I was feeling a bit better by the next day. Still like a bit... but better my long run, but because I wasn't feeling 100%, I thought I'd do my long run locally rather than drive out half an hour somewhere, just in case I started feeling unwell and had to get home. So I thought, do it locally, then Freya can pick me up if anything happens or whatever. So obviously, because it's local, And this is something I forget because pretty much all my long runs now are out in the countryside somewhere, on trails and stuff. I don't really do long runs in civilization. And something that I'd forgotten about is that when you go out into nature, the world is your toilet, You just I don't know whether I've mentioned this on the podcast, and I will reveal it maybe at the end of the year. I have a folder of photos on my phone, which is wild wheeze, and it's where I go for wild wheeze. I don't know why I started doing it, but when I go for a wild wee, I take a picture, I take a picture of like where I went.
Photos of just little puddles in the woods.
No, it's like where I'd gone to hide. So that, so like I started doing it because once I had a wild wee, and it was like this tree that was. It was like perfect to have a wild wee behind, so I took a picture of it. I was like, oh, I went for a wild wee behind this tree. So it's Freya. And I was like, oh, look, I went for a wild wee behind this tree. Isn't it perfect? Yeah, so then that's what
you just got like a folder. Are they just load of photos of bushes, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. They are loads of photos. I haven't got loads of photos. I'm going to show you now on the camera. I haven't got loads of photos in this one because I've only just started like putting them into an actual folder.
You talk to someone like every 2 weeks for 5 years, and you find out things like this about them. It's just bizarre.
At the moment, because I've only just started the folder, I've only got I've got 4 photos at the moment. I have more than that.
Okay.
But I've just got like a thing that just says wild wee and some photos in there, and there's just like a picture of some bushes and stuff. And
should we start sharing these on our social media?
Yeah, start sharing them.
That'd be a nice idea.
That's nice, that one.
Amy had a wee here today. We'll just let everyone know on Instagram or something.
Some trees and stuff, and it's just something I started doing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever gets you through.
Yeah. So I don't know why. But yeah, so what I forgot or what I didn't consider is when I'm out in nature, I can go to the toilet wherever. But when you're out in civilization, it's a whole different story, isn't it? It's a whole, and I don't mean as well. You think, well, civilization, there are toilets, like you can go at cafes. Firstly, it was mainly in residential areas. Secondly, I had the dog. Thirdly, it was like 7 a.m. on a Sunday, so nowhere's fucking open. So straight into the run. And this is the thing, I started my morning with like a shake, like a breakfast, like a Huel, and a coffee and some water. So 10 minutes in, I'm like desperate for a piss, to the point where I'm like, I need to go toilet now. And I had the dog with me. So for those in Cardiff, I was going down the Ely Trail, which, you don't know what you're going to encounter on the Ely Trail. It's not the sort of place. It's not the sort of place where I want to dip off to the side and like pull my pants down. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. It just did not feel safe. For those outside of Cardiff, it's like like an area in the city. It's like there's all sorts of people and things and
it's kind of a trail, kind of gravelly trail path, basically like between a river and a dual carriageway.
Yeah. And
nicer than it sounds.
And there's lots of rubbish and drug users down there and stuff like that. There's like drug paraphernalia around, and that's fine.
It's a mix. It's a real mix down there.
And they think that's not. If people want to go and do their drugs in the bushes, that doesn't normally affect me. But when I need to go for a piss in the bushes, I don't want to be like, those two things shouldn't mix. So I had to. I didn't even take a picture because I was so stressed. I had to go into a bush on the Ely Trail and have a wee, which is not ideal. And I was like, and it's fairly frequented, this trail as well. So I had to do that. I thought, that's the end of it. Okay, incredibly stressful. And then because I'd had all that liquid before, half an hour later, I'm needing a piss again. And at this point, I'm in like a residential area and I'm so desperate. I'm like, I need to go right now. So I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I knew there was like a route into a forest if I went off to the side and went like a complete different diversion. I'm like, oh God, I could go up that way. And I saw this little alleyway between 2 houses, and I was like, I wonder. And it was like a public footpath sign, and I was like, I wonder if there's like somewhere down here, because it looked like it was going into like a wooded area. Can I go down there and just have a quick wee? Because I was almost in tears at this point. When you're so desperate, I was almost in tears. And I should say, I had Pippin with me, and so I'm going down this alley, and by this point it's like 7:30 on a Sunday morning. So very quiet everywhere. I'm going down this alley. I thought, even if this is some woods, I should get an opportunity to go for a wee down here. Of course, we're going down between these houses. A cat runs out. Pippin goes berserk, barking, going nuts. We got to the end of this alley. If Pippin had been quiet, I probably would have been able to have a quick wee, and no one would have known anything, none the wiser. But like she is going completely feral, barking. I'm like, well, thanks a fucking lot, Pippin. I'm not going to be able to go for my pee now because you're literally alerting everyone to our presence that we are here. So yeah, so I had to run back off the alley. I'm ringing Freya. I'm almost in tears. I'm like, I really need a wee, and Pippin's ruined it for me. Pippin's ruined my wee. She's barking, and she was like that. I did find somewhere else in the end. I went into like a field, which also felt very exposed. I went through like a field and went for a wee there. But yeah, it was so incredibly stressful, and it was one of those where the whole like every step of the run was just pain because I was so desperate.
Is it weird that I'm looking at your Strava now to try and find out where that was?
It was I don't know how you pronounce it, Lando or Landoc. I don't know whether it's a dock at the end or a doe, but it was up there.
Oh yeah, I can see.
I went down a little alleyway, but when I got to the end of the alley, it opened up in some woods, and if Pippin wasn't going nuts, I could have gone behind a tree and gone. But I could see people's windows, so I'm like, if they're looking out, they're going to see me, and I'm going to be. You know what my thing was, and I was saying this to Freya on the phone. There's going to be, if I went, there'd be somebody on Facebook like, somebody's had a weed at the end of my garden, like that.
Absolutely.
There'd be a picture of me on a local Facebook being like, who is this person that has brought their dog down here and they're having a wee? Or they're probably, or you know, I would squatting down. They've had a shit behind my house, like, you know what I mean? It'd be one of those. But I did find somewhere else in the end. It was terrifying because anyone could have just walked at any time. But I was just like, I have to go. And that's that
was a very long-winded way of telling us you went for a wee on a run.
Yeah, but I don't understand. I don't understand how people who run just in residential areas and stuff. How are you going for wees?
You know what? There's a couple of people that I will not name, but I swear they prefer weeing outside to inside, and they'll go anywhere. I mean, sometimes I don't think they even need cover. They'll just go, and they'll just be like, "Well, I needed to go, so I'm going to go." And I swear they I wouldn't be surprised if when they're at home, I'm just going to go for a wee, and they pop out into the back garden. It's very weird.
Oh, I just can't because, like, yeah, if I was a man, maybe it'd be a bit easier. But when you're a woman, I know I've got the dog harness on and everything. I've got to like take everything off. Not everything, but you know what I mean. Like it's like it's so much more. You're so much more exposed. I can't.
You have things like for men, like if you take a wee, someone sees you, they're the pervert. If I take a wee, someone sees me, I'm the pervert.
Yeah.
So that's the risk there for men as well.
Yeah,
like men will generally go anywhere, but you still do have to be pretty careful.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be accused of anything.
No. So that was incredibly stressful. I came back, I was stressed. I had to have a sleep. I was also because I was in like my PMDD sort of like anxiety phase as well, and I was drinking Tailwind, which always makes me a bit anxious anyway because it's got a load of caffeine. I need to get the caffeine-free stuff, but then I'm like,
yeah, you really do.
But then I'm like, the caffeine helps me. It makes me run faster, but also I'm fucking terrified the entire time because it's like it made me have a panic attack. So I was like, yeah, I was having this. So I was stressed about the wee. I ended up having like a massive panic attack. Just came home, passed out on the sofa for an hour. Freya's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Like, well, I had to have a wee, so
yeah.
You know.
And then I just had like a massive panic attack from the stress. It was like so chaotic. Oh. So that was my long run. I had a better long run today. It was quite relaxed today.
Oh, we haven't had a weird Amy story for a while. That's nice.
Yeah, so the long run was quite chill today, and just to say at the end, to end on a positive, still smashing the training sessions as well.
Training sessions.
Yesterday, because I'm on my training block now. I'm in the training block. I don't think I've ever been in a training block before. Don't think I've ever trained before. But yeah, so I'm doing double days, so double longish runs days. So yesterday, so I did a 2-hour run today, and then yesterday I did a 7-mile run where I did a 2-mile warm up, a 3-mile progression, and then another 2-mile cool down. I did it. It was bloody hard. I did the 3-mile progression. I found it really difficult. In the 3rd mile, I had to have a little bit of a walk, but I still did it faster than the 1st and 2nd mile. I am like nailing the training sessions.
Isn't it so weird to do a long run and have it actually planned rather than, long run, I'll just plod around for a couple of hours.
I must say though, and I never thought I'd be this person, I quite enjoy it because it gives you something to focus on. So when I'm like it makes the time pass quicker, because when I'm running, I'm like looking at my watch thinking, and not looking at my watch and like, oh God, when is this over? I'm looking and thinking, okay, I need to make sure I'm doing this pace, and then I need to make sure I'm going up to this pace, and then I'm planning in my head like, oh, what pace am I going to do next? And it actually makes time go a bit faster doing that. It's actually quite interesting. I never thought I'd be one of those people that's like, oh, this is good, but yeah, it's actually quite enjoyable.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, how's your week been?
I did have a speed session this week as well. It was like a shorter one though. It was just like a fartlek session, like 20 minutes or so. At the end, there was like some extras at the end if I wanted to add them on, which was just like 2 sets of 800 meter reps, basically. I got 15 seconds into that 800 meter rep and binned it. That's how much I could not be bothered. It was just like, I started it, I'm like, getting up to pace. I was like, I'm going to have to no, I'm not going to. And it's just one of those ones, I knew straight away it was not going to be worth me pushing so hard to do just like a tempo pace. Why is it with running? Like your 10k pace, like you can do for 10k, obviously, but when you go to do reps of it, doing like 800 meters at a time with like a 3-minute rest or something, why is that so difficult? I don't understand how a 10k pace for 800 meters is really, really hard, where it should be a piece of piss. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just like you just feel the time you're in that like it feels hard. Like you can't go a second over what you're doing anyway, and that always feels hard. If you go out for a 5-mile run, that 5-mile run feels just as hard as a 20-mile run, but it's just because that's how long you planned. Yeah,
it's very strange. I suppose it's that thing about like setting expectations, and the thing, if you've got a big plate of food in front of you, you'll eat the whole plate, but if you had a smaller plate of food, you'd eat a smaller plate and still feel just as full.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
something to do with that, something to do with psychology. I don't know. So I had the road relays a couple of weeks ago. That's like a Welsh national event. It's a weird event that everyone says they hate, but they keep coming back to do it every year. Course distance was wrong as usual. Results have been a bit of a shambles. It's been a week now and they're still not sorted. I've sent a couple of emails to be like, still not actually done. So could you just correct that for me, please? I checked and last year's results aren't actually finalised either. So it's not gone. It's not gone that well. But our women are fantastic, and that was really good. It was a club event. Our women did an absolutely fantastic run, finished 3rd place. Very, very proud of them. So that target did very, very well. That was a good one. I also went mountain biking and discovered mountain biking is really, really hard, as it turns out. Because basically and it was just downhill. We paid for the uplift. It cost a fucking shitload, but it's amazing. Bike Park Wales near Merthyr Tydfil is absolutely fantastic day out. A bit pricey, but very, very well worthwhile. We got 6 buses up the hill, basically, and came down 6 times. And it's like holding a squat for like 10 minutes at a time, but also being shaken. So it's like, it just absolutely ruins your legs. A nice big bruise on the inside of my knee for some reason, I guess, where I kept knocking it against the frame. Holly did fall off, but luckily I caught it on camera, so that was the main thing. And it's a really... The video is great because it just looks so pathetic. It wasn't like a really fast, downhill, dramatic fall. Her feet just slipped off the pedals, and kind of once that happens, you're fucked. And then she slammed on the brakes and just went over the front. So it was very, very funny, but very slow motion. But she's got an amazing bruise down her shin and her knee, which is really good. She's really proud of that as well. So that was the best bit. Yeah, mountain biking is really good fun, but it's really, really horrible and difficult. I was looking on, Strava that day of people that had done the segments I'd done and looked at their overall. The people were doing like 50, 60k of just downhill for the entire day.
That's
and
crazy.
It's just like, some people are hitting like 30, 35 miles an hour on some sections. It's absolutely mental. But yeah, really great fun. And now like my Instagram is just mountain bike kind of reels now as well, which
Obviously.
I can't enjoy.
Yeah, the algorithm's like got you now.
Oh, it knows. Yeah.
So how do you is it busy there? Like I'm always worried that to my fear with mountain biking along with everything else would be going down and going into the back of somebody like who's fallen off.
Well, when we're at like the main kind of centre and on the bus and everything, it's really busy, which is like it's that good because this is like a fantastic local business. I'm really glad they're busy because it's just like, it's just a good business. It's a really good thing. But actually on the trails, we barely saw anyone once you get going.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you see people when you're at the top. If they look a bit quicker, you're like, yep, off you go. And you just wait 30 seconds and they're probably going to be quicker than us. So it's fine.
And is it literally just because another thing is when I'm at Luncheston Forest, they've got loads of mountain bike trails there. And because I go really early, I never see anyone. But what I'd be worried about is the trails go across the public footpath, so I'm always worried somebody's gonna like shoot out because it's really steep as well. It's like a really steep part onto a public footpath down to another steep part. So I'm always worried they're gonna literally fly into me or the dog.
I think you generally probably hear them coming.
Yeah.
Because they'll be
but is it like
rattling
that
their
at Bike
way down.
Park Wales? Is like there? I assume there's no like public.
There are some road crossings, but there are like fences before to slow you right down. You don't just go straight over the road.
Yeah,
they've got fences there to slow you and weave you round.
Right, I see.
So then you stop, take a round, and then go down again. A few places like that. But yeah, it's a really, really good day out, but really, really difficult on the legs. Don't plan a long run the next day. What I did do was a long run the next day, and I ran up a mountain, which was really, really hard work, as it turns out. But it's very, very interesting. It was just near me in Newbridge, up to a mountain, just to do a little bit of a recce for potential future projects. So that should be quite fun.
Ominous.
No, in a good way. But yeah, it's really, really good up there. It's kind of, it's the top of a mountain, but also like the top is very, very flat. So it's very difficult to kind of navigate up there because there's no real kind of features that stand out, but also views in all directions. I can see right over to Bristol. I can see Penavan, probably like a good 30 miles away. So yeah, perfect view. Nice. Lovely day for it. But a lot of running up a mountain or a lot of walking up a mountain. And there was also a puddle that someone stepped in. It was one of these puddles, you just see it and you know it's going to be bad news. And he just slipped his foot in it. I think it was just because he like broke the surface of it and like was gagging almost on the smell of this puddle, which had obviously been there a long time, undisturbed. It was a bit Raiders of the Lost Ark. You kind of open this puddle and all the kind of evil spirits fly out of it. It was a bit like that. It was a nasty puddle. Otherwise, very nice day.
Oh, God.
Those are some nice places that we've been recently. Amy, tell us about some bad places that people run.
Oh, I'm just obsessed with this stuff. So, like, weird, bad places people run.
Just bad.
And you'll start to find out why I think these are bad. Not just weird, but bad. The first is I saw on Instagram, there was a Dubai mall 10K, which I'm like, of course, fucking Dubai.
Yeah.
Of course they're doing a mall 10K. That sounds like the shit that goes down in Dubai.
Well, because it's like 60 degrees outside, so hey, why not run indoors?
Yeah.
Well, because it's bad.
Oh, but in a mall. Yeah, so from their Instagram, this description of it, it says, Dubai Summer Surprises presents the first ever Mall of Emirates indoor summer run. The indoor run offers participants the choice of either a 10k, a 5k or 2.5k distance through the air-conditioned comfort of the mall. And there's just a video, a reel on Instagram of people running this. And two things spring to mind. Other than the fact you're running in a fucking mall, like, why would you want to do... I know, like... I don't know whether the Mall of the Emirates, I don't know whether that's like the main mall in Dubai. I know there's loads of more in Dubai.
I imagine there's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's one really big main one, and I don't know whether that's the one, and maybe that's part of the appeal to running it because it's like a thing. But that sounds so dull and so boring.
Well, the fact it says 10k, 5k, or 2.5, that suggests to me that's a 2.5k lap. And you're doing it once, twice, or 4 times is what I would guess, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah, so maybe it's one of the smaller malls. I don't know. It just sounds so dull. Like, you're not going to catch me running around St David's. Like, what for? For what? So I can run past Krispy Kreme donuts and be like, oh yeah, let's get a selfie in front of Krispy Kreme. Like, what are you on about?
But I couldn't quite tell from this reel, like, was it an actual race or was it just a run? Because there was because people didn't look like they were running, hard.
Some people were. I saw one of the clips, and this kid, or maybe they were a kid, maybe they were a young adult, was like sprinting across the finish line, and like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether you'd be able to properly run, and it just seems like very slippery. Like the floors in malls just seem very slippery.
Either slippery or too grippy. Like you can imagine, like a basketball court, and just squeak, 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 all those trainers around the corners and things.
Yeah, either
but just
way,
so hard and so flat.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a good surface to run on. And then
just fucking indoors, it's weird. Yeah, it's just really weird.
And there's clips of people going up escalators as well. And I'm like, that is weird. That is weird. Why haven't they done the lap? Why haven't they done it in a bigger mall that has 2.5 kilometers that they can run without? Because I'm sure there is in Dubai. There's lots of malls like that because they're massive.
I think these escalators were those kind of long, flat ones rather than like one with steps at least.
Yeah.
But still, having to run up them, come on.
No.
Stop it.
That's crazy. absolutely like.
And plus, also the main thing, you couldn't use Strava because there's no it wouldn't be GPS indoors.
No.
So what would be the point?
No. And the thing is, I know as well that there are people, especially in America, where it's really hot, and they will go to the mall, and because it's air conditioned, they will do their speed walking around the mall to get their steps into. Like I kind of understand that because it must be more interesting than being on a treadmill. It's nice and air conditioned, but to organise an actual run, it just seems ridiculous.
It's horrible. So yeah, we've seen a few other places that people just get their runs in because, of course, people have to get their run in, don't they? I've seen a reel of a woman on Instagram doing a shakeout run in the aisle of a plane in business class, like an absolute cunt, and she just looks. She looks exactly what you feel like. Like she's always like she's like flipping V's at the camera like constantly because she knows she's being a dick about it. She knows she's being a dick. And she's just running up and down the aisle. Like these people, this is like proper business class with people in there like their little pods, all stretched out, and they've paid thousands for those seats. And this woman is like up and down the aisle.
It's a constant visual thing of somebody passing you by constantly because it's going to naturally in that enclosed space divert your attention from whatever you're doing to that person. And if that was constant, I would say sit the fuck down, sit down, stop. I don't even like people going up to the toilet on a plane. Like, sit down.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments from like people that work in like the industry saying like, yeah, I would have been on her straight away, and I'm sure they probably, the staff probably were on her quite quickly. But you could tell, like the look on her face was always like, oh, look at me, I'm getting away with it. Oh, she just looked like such a prick about it. And it's just like, she's paid all that money for business class just to run up and down and annoy everyone. And of course, got to get the video. That's why you've got to get the content.
But it's not even a good shakeout run either because you're going to have to be like turning around. How do you actually get into a rhythm?
It's 10-meter shuttle jogs. It's pathetic. It's so pointless. And again, not going to be on Strava. No point.
And speaking of air travel, there's these people running in airports, and sometimes I see it because people are doing their run streaks, and they need to get their mile in. I could sort of I could imagine getting away with running a mile slowly in an airport.
A little jog,
if it was that important, you were taking a really long flight and you had to, little jog in an airport for a mile. I can imagine that going pretty much unnoticed. What pisses me off are these people doing these crazy runs in airports. So we talked about it way back when it happened in 2022. Some YouTubers, quote unquote, organised a half marathon in Heathrow Airport. And the thing is about this, I don't think it was like loads of people did it, but it was, when I say organised, it wasn't like in an agreement with the airport, they just did it. And the winner did it, a half marathon in 67 minutes, and they ran a 2.1 kilometre loop 10 times. Like, what dickheads? Because not only are you running loops, you're doing it quite fast.
Yeah, like 67 minutes is quick.
You're running that fast. That's what I mean. Like, if you want to do your run streak and you're doing like a mile jog in an airport, I can imagine, like I said, that go pretty much unnoticed. These people are running and trying to get some sort of PB in 2.1 kilometre loops 10 times when people are just trying to catch their flights. People might be in a rush or whatever, and you're running around like a dickhead. Why?
Yeah, and that's so quick. Like it's crazy that they didn't trip over anyone or run into anyone or knock anyone over running at that pace.
Yeah, and there's another, so there's this runfluencer, again, Tom Trosser. He's quite funny, he gets my nerves a bit as well. And he attempted a world record airport 5K. It's like, I'm sure that record wasn't hard to beat, because who's trying to get
no one's
that?
done it before. And also, you can't measure 5K. You haven't gone and measured 5K in an airport.
No, you're right, actually. It's probably not even a world record.
Because no one's done it before, because no one else is that much of a dick.
Yeah, but he ran this 5K in 23 minutes. Again, that is fairly quick. And you look at like the video of him doing it, and he's running some loops. He runs up an escalator at one point. It looks really busy in the airport, and I'm just like, bro, like, I understand why they do it. It's because people are running in airports to catch flights and stuff, but you're going one fucking way. You are running from point A to point B to catch that flight. When you're running in loops around, that is annoying as fuck, and it's so dangerous. And I sound like a bit of a Karen, but it is dangerous. You're gonna knock somebody over, but not like just. It's so. What are you doing?
Just for content. That's the thing. It's all for content.
It's so selfish. Like,
yeah, piss people off because you can get some views out of it.
Yeah. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, no issue. If you want to do your like 1 mile or whatever, and you're doing like a little jog around the airport to get that in, or whatever you want to do, crack on. But it's when, okay, I'm going to run a 67-minute half marathon in 2.1 kilometer loops. Like, what are you doing? Stop.
Good, great.
Yeah.
So if you've been on Instagram, you've seen some of these horrible videos of people running in just stupid places. We want to hear about them, or especially organised races in just weird, bizarre, and ideally bad places. That's what we really want. Weird and stupid is good, but when they're actually objectively bad, that's always very good too. Let us know in the usual places.
Yes. You can support this podcast by going to patreon.com/runningisbullshit and donating money every month if you'd like to. New to the list this month is no one, luckily. And a big thank you to the one cancellation, and we appreciate it. It makes the song fractionally shorter, so thank you.
Elliot Lyne, Matt Garner, Gregory C., Alison Newstead, Sherry Grubbs, Julia Page, Claire Davis, Stuart Stevens, Jay Howells, Jason Spinks, Drew Edwards, Shambolic Adult, Gail Seal, Vicky Robbins, Sophie Nichols, Elizabeth Shaban, Bernadette McCarthy, Kiara Evans, Dewey, Andy Nichols, Lisa Gibbon, Larry Warren, Ruth KP, Rich Skirm, Gabby Thomas Nair, Debbie Hurley, Kath Everard, Victoria Cousins, Lee Wood, Amanda Murray Hind, Angela Foster Swales, Cheryl Currant, HP Build, David Yellow, Magty Tull, Rachel Bentley, Matt Newberry, Dawn Shepherd, Matt Jeziorski, Jay, Katrin Fenton, Sophie Jacks, Ian Hales, Matt H, Matt Burrows, Charlie Neverson, Jonathan Carter, Steve Big, Anthony Howe, Victoria Dick, Karen Hamilton, Brian Simpson, Kale Ryder, Penny Simpson, Tony Boyle, Katie Metcalfin, Catherine Brown, Jamie Tammer, Sebi, Matt Jones, Maria Wicks, A.B., Sherry Kinniston, Liz Rees, Claire Dina, Marta Kaplan, Ruth Perkins, David Irwin, Victoria Magnus, Francis Howell, Nikki Jones, Aaron Shaw, Tony Howells, Rachel Bullmore, Taryn Milligan, Ray McQuinn, Nikki Genders, Karen Blay, Adam Baker, Spencer Aldred, Tom Alcott, Ian Thompson, Matt Lease, Martin Jowsey, Cat Abigail Hardman, Steve Robson, Clark Gilmore, Andy Robbins, Noms Dawson, Glenn Martin, Graham Hackland, Daniel Braun, Ivor Hewitt, Sandra Heinzer, Paul Hibbert, Mark Willis, Neil Denton. Don't forget to get in touch with your running bullshit on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Just let us know why you particularly hate running this week. We always want to hear from you. We haven't actually got much in the way of messages this week. It's mostly just run club name chat, frankly. But do let us know if you're injured, especially if you're injured. We love to know that. Or if you've got a bullshit tale to tell. Let's move straight on to news.
Bullshit. Running news. Da, da, da.
First up, a story that is really quite awful, but written in a way that makes it much better and much worse at the same time. This is from that bastion of solid journalism, the New York Post, who start with, "That otter lever mark," which is a great indication of where the rest of the article is going. I'll read the next 3 sentences as written. A woman was left crying in a pool of her own blood after getting savaged by a gang of otters in Malaysia. The unidentified victim had reportedly been jogging through Tanjung Aru Recreation Park in Sabah when she was beset by 8 of the beasts. Accompanying footage shows the water weasel octet fleeing the scene after the attack. What a fantastic bit of elegant variation and second mentioning going on there. The water weasel octet.
Well, you know what? Another run club name, the Water Weasels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Water Weasel Savages.
The Water Weasel Gang. I mean, obviously, this is a horrible story. This woman, like, literally, it's just a photo of this woman with blood all over her, and she obviously had a horrible time. But I'm sorry, it's just the way it's written. It's just one of the, obviously, well, we can't say gang of otters again. What else can we possibly? Octet? Yeah, of course. Water weasels. That's not what they are, but fuck it, that'll do. And it goes further. At the end, it says in 2021, a Singapore resident was hospitalised after getting accosted by a gang of the ferocious water frolickers, which reportedly bit him 26 times in 10 seconds. Again, horrible story, but the ferocious water frolickers. You cannot be a ferocious frolicker.
Yeah. But I do want to know why. Like, why did these otters do this? This sounds really bizarre. I don't know whether are otters known for this?
It must just be a territorial thing. Because, like, some of those otters can get massive. Like, I think we think of, like, little, like, small, cute, sweet ones. But they can be, like, I think they can be, like, nearly a couple of meters long. So they can be really big. But I guess it must just be a territorial thing. If they've got pups around and you're running past their little pool or whatever, they just freak out a bit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and it does. There is a picture of a woman sat down. I mean, it's not as horrific as they describe. I'm sure she was really hurt and she needs to go to hospital. But if you want to look at the image, don't worry. It's not like some sort of massacre. She is sat all bloodied up, and yeah, crazy. Like, what is going on in Malaysia?
The things people have to worry about in other countries is just like being attacked by birds. Or just otters might attack you at any point, apparently.
Yeah. Oh my god. And yeah, trying to fight back against 8 otters. Just
weird.
Yeah. We also had a bizarre interaction following a tweet to us about how the Strava jockey thing we were talking about last time is hitting the mainstream news sites. And we had some replies from @StravaJockey, who might be a Strava jockey, who, according to road.cc, this like a cycling website, is a Belgian IT expert in London who has set this up and has dozens of clients, their own word, and has even moved on to running a geographically widespread network, again their words, which feels to me like absolute bollocks. Like, what are you talking about, bro? They tweeted us to justify it all with this. Oh god, I've got to try and read this. It's absolute word salad. Hold on. You know what? For listeners, this isn't me fucking up the reading like I usually do. This is what it says.
I mean, it may be, so let's not say that in advance.
Yeah, this is very difficult. But this is in my language, actually, so I should be fine. If oneself feels better about the illusion to run, for oneself or socially, it is beneficial for mental health and cannot be undermined.
It cannot be undermined. If it makes people feel better, then you cannot possibly argue against it. Like heroin. Makes people feel fantastic, so it is beneficial.
Yeah, basically saying, like, if people like doing this, then what's the issue? Which,
if people like cheating in races, if they feel better about it, then absolutely we should allow it.
Yeah.
Cannot be undermined.
But the thing is, we're not saying, like, don't do that, because whatever, if people want to pay somebody, Strava jockey, to run for them, like, who cares? We're not saying that. We're saying it's weird.
I mean, I'm saying a bit, don't do it, because it's weird. Don't do it because it's weird.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. Not in a funny way.
Yeah. Like, it's weird. It's a weird thing to do.
So, like, this guy has charged £2.50 for a 5-kilometre run, or £16 for a cyclist in Manchester who wanted a 100-mile ride from the city centre out into the Peak District and back. Now, apparently, I know it doesn't sound like much, but it apparently goes on forums to find people who are about to do that route anyway. And then he asks for their GPX files afterwards and gives them some money. Or if there's no one available, creates a fake GPX file instead. And I just cannot wait for people to get their accounts suspended over this, because Strava know about it. Obviously, people have flagged it to Strava, asked them for comment, and Strava being like, well, this is very explicitly against our terms of service. If people do it, we'll suspend them. And I want that to happen. I'm looking forward to it. I almost want to start flagging people just in case.
I just honestly, I do not understand it. Like, I always think it's weird when people cheat at races, but at least there's something to gain in that it's a race, and people will be like, oh wow, you did a marathon and you did it so quickly. Like, I sort of get that, but who cares about your Strava training runs?
It's like, you rode out to the Peak District this weekend, did you? Yeah, it was really good fun. Oh well, good for you. And like, that's it. That's as far as that interaction goes. That's all the credit you're going to get for it.
It's criminal alibi type shit. I feel like this needs to be investigated. Oh no. You know when those people were murdered, I was out in the Peak District. You can check my Strava.
Oh, you know what? That does undermine a lot of, like, if anyone's ever... I'm sure people have had these kind of thoughts on runs. If anything happened to me, you could use your phone as, your Strava as evidence of where you were at a particular time. Not anymore. Because this Belgian IT expert's ruined that for us.
I think I've cracked this. This is going to be a Netflix series, isn't it? It's going to be the next Scandi Noir. Is like, oh, the prime suspect for all these murders. It just seems to fit, but they're a keen cyclist and they're never there when the murder's happening. We can see this on Strava.
Yeah.
You know, all that, but in Danish. Imagine that said in Danish.
Absolutely.
Oh, shivers! It's going to be amazing.
I did see someone as well say, I can't remember who it was that flagged this to us, but they're pretty sure they've seen someone who, like, when they've done this route for this person, they've then taken photos on the way as well to add to it, to add more realism. And apparently even, like, someone has taken the person's phone, which, again, like, Strava are saying, like, do not do this. Do not. They're like, Strava, like, they say they do not allow other people to use your account, basically. That's, again, a service. But also, generally, don't give someone your phone. Don't give someone your password or account information, anything like that. I mean, if you're going to do it, upload a GPX file. But, I mean, don't do it. But come on, this is just so weird.
Stranger danger.
This weird guy's trying to make this into a business and trying to, like, morally justify himself is just so strange.
But that's the crazy thing. Like, don't if you're going to do it. Like, say, yeah, some people like to cheat. Some people, like, you don't have to take the moral high ground on it. What you're doing is inherently weird and cheating and lying. Don't bother with the moral high ground. Just people will respect you more if you just say, yeah, this is what people like. This is
paid for it,
like
wanted
this.
to get the kudos.
Yeah, just say
Makes
that.
me feel
You'll
like a
probably
big
get more
man.
business. Yeah, you can probably get more business that way. So weird. Why? Anyway, Stuart, what Strava jockeying are you doing next?
Well, if anyone needs any routes in my local area along my canal, happy to do that for them. Please let me know. £2.50 for a 5k, please. I've got no races for like 3 whole weeks, which is a good thing. So I'm going to do some actual training. And I've got no real goals or A races for the end of the year. Loads of fell races, cross country, canicross. I'm treating them all as A races, which I think is the smart thing to do. Just go hard 2 or 3 times a month till the end of the year. See what happens. Probably be fine. I haven't even begun to think about next year. It's far too early for that for me. I'm not one for planning ahead too much, I don't think. How about you?
Yeah, nothing. Just training. I haven't really got. I can't even remember what my next race is. I think I'm doing like the Margam Park Trail Run, whatever that is. That might be the next one. That's like ages away though. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't got any races coming up, basically. So yeah, I'm just doing my training block. I'm doing training. I'm going out and I'm doing like on Tuesday. I'm going out and running 400-meter reps.
Oh
like,
no,
what?
that's the worst.
I know. I don't even know how to do that on my watch, but I'll figure it out. And it's all a learning curve.
It's one of these things your watch will give you an alert of like, are you sure? Is this Amy? Has the count been compromised?
I know. My watch, my watch is like been utilised to its full capacity now. There are workouts. I have workouts stored in my watch.
And didn't you say to me before, like every time you went and did one of these runs, like your heart rate zones and speed zones would all change every time?
Oh my God. Every time. Literally, I think yesterday it came up, oh, you've got a new, what is it? Threshold? Max threshold?
Something like that.
Every time it's going up and up and up. I assume that's a good thing. I don't
It's like the first time your heart rate's gone above 150, you watch like, oh shit, what's going on?
The funny thing is, like, if I'm doing a run where I say, okay, I'm going to go at this effort and that effort, it will predict a pace. And it was saying to me, like, when I was going for, like, all-out effort, it was like, okay, yeah, 15-minute mile pace? And then when I do, like, a 7-minute mile, it's like, what the fuck are you... What? Who is this? Is this a Strava jockey? Like,
yeah,
what is going
all
on?
kind of flags going to Strava then.
Oh, my watch does not know what day it is. It does not know what is happening and who I am. It's like, I don't even know you anymore, bro. I thought we were bros, but I don't know you anymore.
There you go. There's a reason to get a Strava jockey. So your coach doesn't have a go at you.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So Gemma's not like, is everything okay? What's going on?
You've nailed that really well.
Yeah.
Really good. Well done, Eli. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
tough workout, but no problem. So there we go. There's justification at last.
Can you imagine paying for coaching and paying for a Strava jockey to do the coaching?
You know what? I bet people do it. I bet people do it because I imagine their coaches are like really hard line, and I bet people. I'm sure there must be people out there who have faked it to kind of make their coach think that they've done the thing they're supposed to have done. And then when they fail in the race, they'll just blame it on something else.
Blame it on the coach.
Coaching was terrible. I got no benefit from this the last couple of months. If you've enjoyed this bullshit, you can visit runningisbs.com. You can have a look at the show notes and the links for the episode, buy some tea, and all the rest of our episodes if you want. I don't care. There's also links to social media and all the other things. I don't know. Whatever, fine. Bye.
Bye. It's not the sort of place where I want to dip off to the side and like pull my pants down.